Welcome back to page 121. Today we're going to take a look at someone I've always considered to be the gargoyle's bigger brother, the Margoyle. There he is out of Monster Manual 2, the Margoyle. This is actually a fun encounter and a tough customer. Let's take a look at his stats. So they're rare, 2 to 8 appearing, armor class 2, which is pretty formidable. 6-inch move, 12-inch flight, so 6 inches on the ground, 12 inches in the air. 6 hit dice. Number of attacks 4. Damage 1 to 6, 1 to 6, 2 to 8, 2 to 8. That's formidable. Special attacks see below. Special defenses +1 or better weapon to hit. Magic resistance is standard. Intelligence is low. They're chaotic evil and they're medium size. Margoyle is a particularly horrid form of gargoyle, found principally in natural caves and caverns. This creature's substance is so like stone that there's an 80% probability that will be undetected when lurking against stone, and one can thus often surprise opponents. Attack is by 2 claws, a pair of horns, and the bite of stony fangs. Only magic weapons equal to or better than +1 will harm a Margoyle. The low intelligence of this creature does not prevent it from gathering valuable items, particularly those of magical sorts that would harm it. The language of these creatures is similar to that of gargoyles, and they speak the tongue of the latter monsters well enough. Margoyles are sometimes, 20%, found with their lesser kin gargoyles, either as masters or leaders. So what do you do with this guy? Why would this be a big deal? Well, first off, if he's 6 hit dice, roughly a 6th level encounter. So if you have a party that's around 6th level, he would be about that level. Actually, in my opinion, he'd be a little stronger than that, because he is getting 4 attacks per round, and his damage is significant at 1 to 6, 1 to 6, 2 to 8, 2 to 8. So I would put this guy as a slightly higher combatant. If I had a group of, say, 5th to 7th level characters, that would be more what I would feel would be appropriate. And of course, it depends too on how many magic weapons the party has. If the party doesn't have many magic weapons at 5th or 6th level, then this guy's going to be that much tougher. We've had encounters at my table in the past against gargoyles where flaming oil has been put to use, and they worked quite well. I have ruled at my table, and it doesn't say anything in the write-up, but I've ruled at my table that flaming oil only does half damage versus a Margoyle because of their stone-like skin. They look stony, and I have it be with an armor class 2. They have a really good armor class, so I let a Margoyle be a little more resistant to flaming oil. That is a way to kind of take that away from the players a little bit. I love encounters where the players innovate. I don't love encounters where the players just do the same thing they did the last time they met something like this. So flaming oil has become kind of overused at your table. One way to combat it is to give the stuff that they're using it against a little bit of a defense. I realize the players can only carry so much oil, etc., etc. There are other ways to limit it. But this just came to mind during an encounter I did years and years ago, where the players resorted immediately to flaming oil, and I said, well, he's got a craggy hide, a stone-like hide, therefore the flaming oil will do less damage. Just a ruling at my table. I do love the fact that they can fly, movement class C, which is not the greatest flyer. I should do a video one of these days on AD&D movement classes, and the reason I haven't, and the reason I don't talk about them much, is I don't really use them. I use them as a guideline, so I know a class C, he can't turn as quickly, and he can't rise up into the air as quickly, and he's not as skillful at diving, things like that. I don't care for the AD&D movement, flight movement system, so I kind of freehand that a little bit. But let me know if you're interested in seeing something like that, where I'll talk about flight and the different ways we've handled it. But the Margoyle itself, 2 to 8, would be very formidable, with 6 hit dice and 4 attacks per round, and a good armor class at 2. These guys could definitely give your party some damage, and that's kind of what he's there for. They're basically a bag of hit points. They're there to be a nice encounter, but they're also to make your party use up some resources. Maybe some magic arrows get used up. Maybe fighters take some damage fighting these things. It's all about resource management when you're the DM and you have a group of players. What you want to do is find encounters like this that will take away a little bit more of their resources than they'd otherwise want to give up. And the resource in this case, of course, would be hit points / healing for the hit points, magic weapons, or specifically magic missile weapons, magic missile spell. Those are all good reasons to go ahead and throw an encounter like this in. Also note, at 6 hit dice, he would be immune to a sleep spell. He's higher than 4+4 hit dice. That is one thing that the gargoyle suffers from, 50-50 to be hit by a sleep spell and be knocked out by it. So it's kind of interesting this gets around that too. So it makes me think that Gary Gygax, or whoever actually created the gargoyle, Margoyle rather, I think it was Gygax, maybe they were tired of the ways players had found around gargoyles, so they went to the gargoyle's bigger brother. And by the way, the way to make gargoyles or Margoyles more menacing is to simply give them more hit dice. I've used Margoyles where I've dropped the armor class to 0 and I've cranked up the hit dice to 8 or 9, and then I use them at higher level encounter as well. It ends up working out pretty well, and again, it's about resource management and you as the DM finding a way to make players use up resources. So that's it. That's all I have to say about this wonderful little monster. I've always liked the Margoyle, one of my favorites. I want to say, correct me if I'm wrong, because I didn't research this before I filmed this, but I want to say the Margoyle made his first appearance in Tomb of Horrors, but I would have to double check that. But I'm not positive. But anyway, that's just a quick look at the Margoyle today on page 121. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Leave some comments below. Take a look at the Patreon. Help me out there. And I'll see you next time on page 121.